We are speaking to Ross Brackett, one of the selectmen in the town of Rockport. Hi, Ross. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
Great.
We also have to add that you are the owner of Brothers Brew, where the donuts are the best in the world. So,
Thank you very much.
so in today's paper in the Gloucester Times, they were talking about it takes $38 million to run the town of Rockport.
Yep.
And this is the proposed budget. Any surprises there for you guys?
No surprise. It's right around the standard amount
Right.
yearly. So
Well, I have been wondering, and this is my standard question, about ARPA money. Did Rockport receive ARPA money?
we go ahead. We
And
did
what are we
receive
doing?
money. I can't say how much. I don't know the exact amount. I did have to step out of the budget meeting the other night, but I know we did transfer 200,000 to a COVID fund related to COVID testing and getting tests in general, just so we can get them to the residents if that's the case. But overall, just to the COVID fund for now.
Okay, all right. And I guess we spoke to the school superintendent, Rob Lebo, the other day. He talked about this amazing bipolar ionization system that went into the schools. Was that part of the ARPA money?
It might have been. I'm not sure. I know they were going through different avenues at the time, but on the CIPC, which is the Capital Improvement Planning Committee, we did approve the project to get those put in with that money, subject to, it would be cut down if they were able to get grant money and other funding that the federal government allowed.
Okay.
And Ross, do you want to comment on the town's behalf about the recent wrongful termination case with former Chief Doyle?
I don't have much to say other than that the selectmen in the town is happy. I know some of the residents weren't very happy with the results, as they wanted to see maybe more come out. But the selectmen are happy with the dismissal of the case, and we hope it ends now. But there's always room for a state case.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Does it feel as though morale in the town is starting to
Well, around me, that there is an upwards morale, but based on posts online, people didn't really like our press release. They thought it was disingenuous, and but we were just trying to be transparent to let the town know. They always want to know what's going on with the cases, and we let them know that the case was dismissed.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. And how about the Green Task Force? There was a little bit of kerfuffle around that. It sounds like.
So with that, we're going back and forth right now. We did kind of spring it on them that we were going to change the charge, but in the end, at the end of the day, the charge is changed by the selectmen, or it's produced by the selectmen, and they want input. I asked them for input, and obviously I think we had a little miscommunication there.
Wait, can you just explain what the charge is? What do you mean when you say the charge?
What they're tasked to do, from what the selectmen tasked them to do for the town. So we were just trying to streamline it a little bit, where they would have to come in front of us before they would move forward with the project and present it to us, and the DPW commissioners, they weren't happy with it. And so we've just kind of got, we're butting heads, but I don't think they should be not excluded from the discussion, but I don't think they should have a say in what the charge is, as the selectmen are the ones that set the charge. And I think they'll have a biased view, because it's what, it might be what they want to do, opposed to what the selectmen are looking further down the road. I'm not saying they don't look down the road, because they do great stuff for the town, but we just ran into those situations with miscommunication.
Well, from what I read in the paper, and so I'd like to know if I'm wrong, it sounded as if they were making decisions that the selectmen didn't know about, and you guys were caught off guard.
You can kind of say that. I mean, it's just more communication. Another example of that is I've been now labeled misinformation by that committee, and instead of reaching out to me after my last selectmen's meeting and coming directly to me to fix the situation or elaborate on what I got wrong, they decided to hold a public meeting and label me misinformation. It would have been better if they just communicated directly to me, which was, my major concern. I mentioned the $300,000 for the streetlights. It's not that they didn't tell us about that, but they lost the grant, or the grant dried up. And it would have been nice if we knew that, in the end, that could have happened. We thought they had the grant, and then lo and behold, we have $300,000 on the table that it's not, we pay for it up front, but then,
right? There's a deadline that was missed for that.
I don't know. See, they say dried up, so I'm not sure if we missed a deadline or not.
Okay.
So, but with the 300,000 is we pay it up front, but then we get it reimbursed over 4 or 5 years, which I'm not sure about that process. You know, they could have reached out to me and elaborated on that too.
So
Ross,
communication seems like the problem. Sorry.
Ross, what are some of the big ticket items on your agenda?
I mean, right now it's kind of slow. So the big ticket item is the budget, which we'll have, we have another meeting tonight, another hearing meeting. Tonight's a public hearing, so it should be interesting. Last meeting, the one I had to step out was just strictly, town administrator Mitch Vieira explaining the budget, going through each line. So tonight should be interesting with the public hearing. That's the major ticket. We have Long Beach coming up, 2023. That lease has to be renewed. We have the Long Beach Options Committee going through. I think they should be finishing up the report soon. Yeah, town meeting is, I can't remember the exact date, but they'll be presenting to the residents at that meeting, so that should be great.
Who's on the the Long Beach Options Committee?
We have Ken Kaiser's the chair, Diane Finch. I don't think she's vice chair, but I think Tom Meekis is vice chair. And we have Diane Finch, and then Mary Devaney. I can't remember all of them off the top of my
These
head.
are citizens, right?
Some of them are Rockport citizens. We had a couple drop off. They didn't like the way the committee was going. We had Paul Murphy from the Selectmen. He had to step down because he had different engagements coming up, so he had to step down from that committee. But overall, it's a good committee, I think.
Yeah, that's a big decision.
It is.
Yeah.
I just clicked something over and had something on the screen. Sorry. So for that committee, there's a lot of talk around the committee. Some people don't like the way they're talking. They think they're biased, but they are bringing up, which the major talking point and debate is a managerial retreat, which is, I understand that people try to think it's like coming up soon. And the way I've been learning about it, and it could be a 30-year process, a 50-year process. So it's not anything they're saying isn't for the managerial retreat isn't right now. And I think that's a benefit that they have to explain to the residents of Rockport and the residents of Long Beach, especially because they're the ones that are, they're worried the most about the way the talks are going. I don't think anyone's really interested in the back to nature option as a, get it done option. I think the manager retreat is a reasonable option as long as, everyone learns about, the ins and outs of it. They just had a webinar the other night talking about that, and that's where I learned a lot more about the manager retreat.
So it's slowly turning over the ownership of Long Beach to the people who own the properties, the houses.
No, that would be a sale, and that's some people are interested in that, some people aren't. That's not something I would like to entertain, but of course I'll look at the option of a sale if that's what the town of Rockport wants. But I don't think a sale would be the best option mainly because of the wall. What are we going to do with the wall?
Right.
That's upwards to $30, $40 million project. That who gets in charge of that? Does the town get held in the bucket for the wall, or do they buy the wall with themselves? And then in that case, now you're really talking about public access to the beach. So
so managed retreat or managerial retreat,
managed retreat, I think I don't know the exact
that's
wording.
okay. So that's a retreat from what?
From just the rising tides and looking down because the flooding gets higher and higher every year. I can't speak on that exactly, but I know the people are keeping track of it, and it's getting a little deeper each year. And managed retreat has it's more about wording when you put in for the leases. If the houses are in example I heard the other night, if is 2 feet of flooding for a period of 14 days out of the year, should we remove that house, and then either relocate it or it's just gone. So it's a lot to learn. So I'm glad the committee is doing the work right now to get it out of the way, and hopefully the selectmen can capitalize on that.
Yeah, Ross, now that you're on the Board of Selectmen, are you used to it yet? What have you learned about how the board works in cooperation with the town?
The biggest thing is learning that you can't talk about anything outside of the public setting. You can work with one other selectman really on a project if you're doing that, but other than that, there's a lot of listening to the public, and then you get to go into each meeting not knowing everyone's view, and then you got to kind of listen to everyone and make your own decisions based on what you hear from your constituents and versus what they hear from theirs. And then, if you butt heads, you butt heads. But if not, it'll get done. The work gets done. And, I think, people aren't happy with the pace of some of the work that gets done, but I think it gets done pretty fast. So
Yeah. Are you enjoying
How much-
yourself?
I am very much. I do enjoy this very much.
So you have the best pulpit of all the selectmen, maybe, because you've got that counter at Brothers Brew.
I do.
Right?
I get to hear a lot of things, and the people get to tell me a lot of things too. If I'm not,
I bet.
sometimes I think people talk because they want me to hear them, but can't say that for sure.
That's great. Well, anything else we should know that's happening in Rockport with the Board of Selectmen?
Not really. I mean, everything, like I said, everything's done in public. So as long as you get to those meetings, you get to see what we do. I know all the public hearing tonight will be a very interesting one if anyone can make that about the budget. We'll be talking about the school. That override only passed by 10 votes last year, so that's it's a little worrisome looking to the future. But I understand other people's viewpoints is that the numbers are dwindling, so it doesn't look good on that end. So anything we can do to help the school system, I always think is a benefit, though.
Hey Ross, since you're in front of the public's face every single day, the COVID situation, do you feel like it's lessening a bit? Are you getting that vibe from the people?
So it was, but then when the Omicron came about, I saw high increase, percentage and increase in mask wearing, and then the town itself went ahead and did the mandate for the mask, which I still, honestly, I oppose the mask mandate because we had a 95% mask wearing anyways. I didn't think it was necessary to put the mandate in place. That's caused conflict. I've had customers that have yelled at each other because someone's not wearing a mask. I've informed my employees that they don't, I put the sign up and my employees don't engage at all. It's up to the town Board of Health agents to engage with people that aren't wearing a mask. So those are my major concerns. And, some of them do come to fruition.
Gotcha.
Mm. Well, we really thank you for coming and joining us. It's really great to catch up with somebody actually in downtown Rockport and on the Board of Selectmen. So you'll come back soon, right?
Oh, anytime you need me, it's a pleasure coming on these. I enjoy this just as much as I enjoy being a selectman.
Oh,
So.
that's nice.
Keep 2 chocolate sprinkles aside for us, Ross.
Yeah.
Will do.
All right. Take
Thank
care.
you. You too.
This episode of Cape Ann Today is brought to you by J&L Welding.
Interested in a sponsorship? Email sponsor@1623studios.org to learn more.